Welcome to episode 20 of the disturbing part of the internet. What started off as a format where I was basically just dumping leftover topics into a compilation type format turned into the longest running format of the channel. For this special episode, I've compiled significantly more topics, also going really deep into some of them, and I really hope you enjoy.
So anyways, this is about having sex with Asian girls.
And be part of our family. So if you could pray for us.
Public humiliation.
Yeah, it is.
The following footage was released a few months ago by Law and Crime Network. It shows 20-year-old Karina Armando and her friend 24-year-old Olivia Morrow being pulled over by the police. Karina's vehicle was seen swerving and tailgating another car. What follows is pure chaos. But let's start from the beginning.
Where are you guys coming from today?
Donovan's.
Donovan's?
Yeah.
How much did you have to drink today? Have you had anything to drink today? Any illegal drugs? Any... just alcohol?
Yes, I had 2 drinks.
This wasn't too convincing, with the officer suspecting that she may have drank a bit more than just 2 drinks.
Step out of the car for me. So, right now I'm asking you to step out of the vehicle so we can talk on the side of the road. Step out of the vehicle. I believe you're intoxicated.
After a bit of a back and forth, Karina would step out of the vehicle. Besides regular questions, she was asked to complete some mobility tests, mainly to see how drunk she was. Her friend Olivia was doing everything in her power to not stay in the vehicle. She first claimed that she was looking for her medicine. Afterwards, she was curious as to what's going on.
Ma'am, I need you to stay in the car.
I'll show you.
We are on a highway. No, I need you to stay in the car. We're on a highway, okay? Okay. Miss, I need you to stay in the car.
No, I am. There is somebody coming
Okay.
for me.
All right, just
I am gonna stay in the car.
okay. Just stay in the car. Okay, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I
Just stay in the car.
wanna leave- Can I hold my hand out the window? Is that okay?
Yeah, let's just close the car door. Okay, you can stay with the window open. Miss, just stay in the car.
I just want to witness it.
Okay, no, you have to stay in the car.
No, I want to
Ma'am,
witness it.
you need
I'm
to stay in
so
the car.
sorry, but I'm
Miss,
hearing what you're saying, and I need to witness the.
Okay, do you realize that by interfering with motor vehicle stop and
If
we're
you
doing
wanna
that, we could
arrest
also
me-
arrest you for obstruction? So please
Okay,
get
do
back
you
into
wanna
the car.
arrest me?
I really don't.
I
want
don't
you
want
to get
you
into
to
the
either.
car.
I just want to see
So
what's
then I
going
need
on.
you to get into the
Listen,
vehicle.
I'm in pain. I can't
Okay.
sit. Can I
need
stand?
you,
Can
no,
I stand
need you to
here?
get into the vehicle. I need you to get into the
There's
vehicle.
somebody 5
Miss,
minutes away.
I need you to get into
Can
the
I
vehicle.
stand up
Miss,
and-
I need you to get into the vehicle and
Can I
stay in the
stand
vehicle.
here? Can I
Miss,
stand?
I need you to get into the vehicle and stay in the vehicle.
I'm begging
Miss, I
you.
need you
I'm
to get
begging
in.
you for
Miss,
let me
I
stand.
need you to get into the vehicle and stay in the vehicle. We are on a highway.
On one hand, she insists that she only wants to observe what's going on, but on the other hand claims she's in pain and needs to stand up. Eventually, it reaches a point where Olivia leaves the car again and runs away.
Once again, feet together, hands at your side. Alright?
I know. Hey, arrest me.
Miss.
This is my mom's car.
Okay,
I need
miss.
to sit here.
But listen.
I don't care.
No, miss.
I'm in pain. I
Miss.
need to stand up.
Miss.
I'm
Okay.
in pain.
Miss.
I understand. I'm not trying
Okay.
to disrespect you.
Listen.
Turn it off.
Miss.
I'm in
you
a
need
lot
to
of
calm
pain.
down. You cannot just run out of a vehicle on a motor
Listen.
vehicle stop until we allow you to
I
go.
understand. I will stand wherever you want me to.
Listen.
But I need to stand up.
Listen.
I cannot sit. I cannot
Miss.
sit. If you're not listening, I'm a first. I need to stand. So tell me where to stand. I will stand wherever you want me to. But I cannot sit in that car. I will stand there. I will stand there. I will stand anywhere. Please let me stand.
Olivia decided to sit in her boyfriend's car after a lot of screaming and interrupting the officer. Karina, on the other hand, completely failed the test and got arrested for DUI while driving a 2009 Dodge Caliber.
1739 County, we need a tow for John's Law.
I'm not okay with it at all.
Okay.
So what exactly are you guys doing? Like,
You're being placed under arrest for driving while intoxicated. Okay?
oh my god. I cannot believe that.
Olivia gave multiple contradictory statements. She initially said that she could drive the car, but later claimed that she cannot drive the car due to her medications. She claimed that she needs to stand up because she's in pain, but later told the officer that she only wanted to observe what was going on with Karina. It's also odd, considering that Olivia was sitting in Karina's car the whole time they were driving together. If standing up was so urgent, why did she even join Karina on a drive across the highway? Either way, it goes without saying that if the police didn't catch those two at this time, things could have gotten extremely dangerous on the highway. Also folks, I'm really not uploading as much, so if you don't want to miss an upload whenever I upload, make sure to subscribe so new videos are showing up on your feed. The following video is one of the most disgusting finds on the internet. The men in the footage wearing the clown masks seem to brandish firearms on camera, but their actions moments later would take a dark, deeply disturbing turn. Yes, it looks silly, but with the context, this is pretty disturbing. These guys are the members of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, also known as the Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generación, or short, CJNG. This cartel is as notorious as they come, with a penchant for chilling acts of violence that could make your blood run cold. We're talking about stuff like cannibalizing victims as part of the training of new members, as well as the use of advanced weaponry, such as drones and rocket-propelled grenades against the rival cartels. Typical of such big cartels, the CJNG operates through appointed commanders, who oversee various aspects of the cartel's activities in different areas. One such commander was Fabian Urbino Morales, also known as El Payaso, which means the clown in Spanish. I kid you not, back in the day, he used to work in the circus, but he traded in his juggling balls for a life of crime. Despite his criminal turn, he held onto one piece of his past, a clown mask. And not only did he wear it during his operations, but he also had his crew donning the clown look during the criminal activities. The men in the video are thought to be El Payaso and his cronies, showing off their guns just before things took a turn for the gruesome. The brutality that followed is so chilling, it's completely insane. Now I can't show you the footage, because it's too intense for YouTube, but I'll try my best to paint a picture of the macabre scene. The video basically depicts a brutal torment of a rival cartel member by the CJNG, with whom they were locked into a violent conflict. The 30-second clip, titled Quiero, Agua, meaning I want water in English, begins with the cartel member, whose face has been completely flayed while still alive. There are no facial features remaining, no skin, no lips, no eyelids. All that was left were his eyeballs, staring out in a way that's just unsettling. It's the kind of thing that seems so bizarre, you'd think it was made up. But sadly, the footage has been verified as real. In the footage, the cartel members are seen taunting and tormenting him, reveling in the suffering they have caused. They ask him questions like, "Do you want water?" He responds, "Yo quiero agua," which means, "Yes, I want water." But obviously they don't give him any. It's very tough to watch. But it seems they've actually skinned some of his chest too. What's most disturbing in this video is actually the victim's eerie, demonic grin, or what's left of it. The man is clearly in agonizing pain, with his voice reduced to a raspy, inhumane sound. I suggest you not to search for this video if you're sensitive to such content, although it's not easily accessible as well. Some individuals on YouTube have attempted to recreate the incident using animations or dolls. However, trust me, none of these depictions can capture the true horror and disgust of the original footage. While some believe that the torture and gun flashing clips you just watched might be from two separate incidents, but El Payaso appears in both, so whether they are one and the same or not, the bottom line is the footage is disturbing and inhumane to even witness, let alone experience. El Payaso, or the Killer Clown, was arrested on January 29, 2020 and tossed behind bars where he rightly belongs. However, his group is believed to still be active in several Mexican states, keeping his brutal legacy alive and kicking. The following clip was taken from a vlog by lifestyle YouTuber Jordan Cheyenne in 2021, where she's seen telling her son to cry on camera. But before we unpack all of that, let's check out the video first.
And be part of our family. So if you could pray for us, we appreciate it. I love you guys. Bye. Come here. Come closer for the video. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Put your head right here. Come closer. Closer. Down. Put your head down here. Act like you're crying. Really quick.
I am crying.
Go like this.
No, Mom, I'm actually seriously crying.
No, I know, but go like this for the video. Go like this. Put one hand up. Go like this. No, go like this. Put your hand like this. But let them see your mouth. Let them see your mouth.
I don't know, Mom. I'm actually crying.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I'm actually crying.
I know. Look at me. Look at me. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's over. It's over.
In the vlog, Jordan is talking about her new puppy being diagnosed with parvovirus and asking her fans for prayers. But right after that, she turns to her son and asks him to cry for the camera, almost like they are staging a thumbnail shot in the same take. Jordan must have forgotten to edit that part out because she uploaded the video as is, and it didn't sit well with a lot of people. They start cancelling her on all platforms, questioning her parenting style. Following the backlash, she took down the vlog, issued an apology, and even went as far as deleting her YouTube channel. She said she was going offline to prioritize her child. However, that didn't last long, as by February 2022, just 5 months later, she had returned to YouTube. She's made it clear that she wouldn't be featuring her son on her channel anymore, and as of now, she's stuck to her word. The following clip comes from a CCTV recording released by the Philippine free-to-air TV GMA network.
Sa pangkuha sa CCTV bandang alas 6:23 ng gabi, makikitang magkasama na sina Christine at ang lalaki. Mas lumakas ang ebidensya ng mga otoridad.
As you watch, you see a young man and woman walking down a street, looking like any other couple enjoying a stroll. However, the seemingly normal moment is just before a terrible crime occurs. Now, I gotta tell you, before we move on, it's probably best to not Google this case. There are some seriously disturbing images out there, so viewer discretion is strongly advised. In the footage, the young woman is Christine Lee Silawan, a 16-year-old high school student and church collector from a village in Lapu-Lapu City in the Philippines. This footage captures the last time she was seen alive. While most of you might assume the guy walking next to her is the culprit, let's pause for a moment. The truth here is more tragic than you might imagine. But who is this guy behind Christine? We'll get to that. But let's start by understanding Christine's story. On Sunday, March 10th, 2019, Christine carried out her usual house chores before heading to church around 4 p.m., where, as mentioned earlier, she worked as a collector. It was part of her daily routine to return home around 7 p.m. However, this day was different. Her mother noticed it was almost 8 p.m., and Christine had not returned, which was highly unusual for her. Growing increasingly worried, Christine's mother went to the church to inquire about her daughter's whereabouts. To her dismay, she learned that Christine had left the church at 6 p.m. but had not made it home. Adding to her distress, just days earlier, there had been reports from police officials about a suspected criminal in their area involved in kidnapping and substance dealing. Nothing in her mind seemed to be aligning at that moment. Where could Christine be? What happened to her? She had no answers. She hurried home and rallied her neighbors to search the area, but their efforts yielded no clues. With no other options, it was then time to call the police. Now the police's handling of this case is something that's a mystery itself. Despite knowing that Christine was not in the vicinity, officers wasted time searching nearby areas. And when their search turned up empty, they simply departed, promising to continue the search the next day. Little did anyone know by then, it would already be too late. The following day, a villager contacted the Philippine National Police Department after spotting something unusual in the city of Mahayahai field. The sight that greeted him would remain etched in their memories forever. A young girl, unclothed from the waist down, lay lifeless, her face so brutally mutilated that half of her skull was exposed. Upon receiving the report, the police swiftly arrived at the scene, linking the discovery to the previous night's search for Christine. The bracelet on the victim's arm confirmed her identity, though her face was unrecognizable. Ironically, the area where Christine's body was found had been thoroughly searched the previous night, but no clues were found. But that's not even the most shocking part. The truly horrifying details emerged during the initial investigation. In the most barbaric way possible, Christine suffered at least 27 to 30 stab wounds on her body, including those on her neck. Subsequent investigations revealed that she had lost half of the skin on her face due to acid being poured on her while she was still alive, before the rest of the skin was forcibly removed. Further examination by the forensic team uncovered even more disturbing findings. In addition to the skin on her face, Christine was missing several parts of her body. The forensic team confirmed that Christine was intimately assaulted indicated by the presence of internal bleeding. Additionally, she was also strangled with a rope. As if this wasn't horrifying enough for her family, some individuals in the crowd took close-up pictures of her mutilated body and shared them online. Unfortunately, these images can still be easily found. Out of respect, I can't show you the original picture. After the shocking discovery of Christine's body, a nationwide manhunt ensued. The incident sparked international and local outrage. So, a special task force was formed to investigate the Silawan case. The pressure was on for them to act swiftly and effectively. Their first breakthrough came from CCTV footage showing Christine walking with an unidentified man. It was obvious she knew him well, and there was no sign of coercion. So the killer was probably someone she was tied with. The whole case now hinged on figuring out who this mysterious man was. But that's not all the police had to consider. What really caught their attention was the disturbing nature of Christine's murder. It didn't seem like an ordinary criminal. It was the work of a cold, calculated professional killer. In a strange turn of events, the police were already acquainted with someone who fit the profile of such a person. Not long ago, a local man named Jonas Martel Bueno had recently been found guilty of taking the life of a farmer and disfiguring the poor guy's face to hide his identity. Now, Jonas had already been through the ringer, thinking his jail days were behind him. But to his surprise, he was slapped with another arrest. This time for a crime involving a girl he swore he didn't even know existed. After a thorough investigation, the police realized Jonas was innocent and let him off the hook. So once the cops cleared their first suspect, all they had left was the CCTV footage. But it only showed their backs, so they couldn't identify the guy with Christine. Therefore, they turned to Christine's social media accounts for leads, thinking the culprit might be among her friends, since she seemed pretty chill in the footage. And that's when they made huge progress. Going through her Facebook, they found chats with two guys that seemed important. One was CJ Diaz, who looked like a new crush, and the other was John, her ex. Now here's where it gets interesting. John and Christine had a relationship for almost a year before she called it quits just days before the incident. The NBI had a theory. Christine dumped John for someone else, which they figured made John so mad that he made up the CJ Diaz account to get back at her. But John's family wasn't having it. They thought the NBI was just trying to cash in on the 2 million pesos reward for info on Christine's perpetrator. John's mom laid out his whole day on March 10th, cleaning his room, playing ball with his friends until late afternoon, then back home for dinner and bed around 7 p.m. This timeline was confirmed by John's basketball buddies. The cops, however, were all over John, pointing out that his clothes looked like what the guy in the CCTV footage was wearing, and he had some scratches on his back that they claim were from a struggle with Christine. They thought this was enough to pin it on him, but the brutality of the crime suggested it wasn't a one-person job. Despite months of digging, the NBI only had a confession from John, which many doubted. He was a minor, and there were concerns about whether the cops might have pressured him into confessing. Even so, John remained the prime suspect. The police tested him to see if he understood the consequences of his actions, and surprisingly, he passed. This meant they believed he knew exactly what he was doing when, according to them, he lured, attacked, stabbed, and mutilated Christine. The regional police office backed this up, claiming they had cracked the case and caught the perpetrator, suggesting it was all wrapped up. So, does this mean that the guy in the CCTV footage walking with Christine was actually John? Definitely not. As 17-year-old John was dealing with all the heat from the law and public, a new figure entered the scene, flipping the script on the whole case. Renato Lenis, who was already on the cops' radar for allegedly having illegal guns and substances, was arrested on April 9th for supposedly carrying a .45 caliber pistol. While in custody, he dropped a bombshell confession that shocked everyone following the case. At a presser on April 11th, the Philippines police chief rolled out Renato in front of reporters, where he flat out admitted to taking Christine Silawan's life. He spilled all the details, right from the start, leaving everyone stunned. Renato, despite being a 43-year-old dad with 5 kids, pretended to be a 16-year-old boy on Facebook in an attempt to attract teenage girls. One of those girls was Christine. Back in 2018, she saw chatting with Renato on Facebook Messenger, thinking he was a classmate. Their Facebook messages showed that Christine was really keen to meet up, but Renato kept coming up with ways to put it off. Then, on March 10th, Renato finally convinced himself that after all this time chatting, Christine wouldn't turn him down. So he set up a meeting with her after her church service. Upon realizing that CJ Diaz was a middle-aged man rather than the youngster she had assumed, Christine was naturally horrified. She wanted to leave right away, but Renato persisted in escorting her home, and there was nothing she could do to stop him. Reluctantly, Christine decided to go for a walk with him. Suddenly, during their stroll, Renato asked Christine if she wanted to have intercourse. Christine was so repulsed by him that she flat out refused him, opting to call John to come get her instead. But the old man couldn't handle being rejected. His feelings of jealousy and rejection boiled over, and in a fit of rage, he dragged Christine to a deserted field where he brutally attacked her with scissors, leaving her face disfigured. When asked why he confessed, he admitted feeling bad for John. He thought it was unfair that John was being blamed for something he didn't do, and he couldn't stand the idea of John and his family going through such public humiliation.
Mangayo lang ta ko pasaylo sa pamilya niya ba. Mapasaylo ta ko niya sa nabuhat na ko siya anak. Ako lang ipon lang katon lang 17 anyos na magawas.
Ngano man sir?
Kay dili man gud siya gud. Ako mo lang tinuod niya, naluoy ko niya ba.
But here's where it gets even more mysterious. Renato claimed to be the man in the CCTV footage, but his physical build and posture clearly indicated otherwise. Plus, he admitted to using scissors to mutilate Christine, but forensic analysis pointed to acid being used to mutilate her face before it was skinned. The autopsy also showed signs of assault, with the lower garments missing, but Renato kept denying any assault took place. Renato explained that he figured out how to do the horrific act on Christine's face and neck by watching videos on Facebook and YouTube. He also claimed that he was inspired by a viral Momo challenge that was all over the internet. It was basically an internet rabbit hole back in 2018 that sucked people into doing all sorts of dangerous stuff. Most of you should be familiar with it. However, despite his detailed confession initially, he later pleaded not guilty, hinting at a retraction. So the big questions were still up in the air. Was Renato really the person who was behind the incident? If so, who else participated? Who assaulted her? Her body was found near her house, so if Renato really did stab her 30 times with scissors, why didn't anyone hear anything? And who was the guy in the CCTV footage? John? Renato? Someone else? The answers came to a standstill when Renato was found dead in a cell on May 24, 2019. He had reportedly been threatened by Christine's uncle, who was also an inmate. Some said Renato seemed depressed, so that might be another possibility. The police closed the case, but Christine's mother believes her daughter's perpetrator is still out there, unpunished. It makes me wonder if the police rushed to close the case, or if they really did everything they could to bring justice for Christine. For this one, I need you to have a bit of patience so I can go through his history before we really get into the disturbing and disgusting aspect of this case. It's also a very large rabbit hole, so bear with me. If you take a peek at the videos, you'll quickly notice one thing and one thing only. Sex is the central theme. It's pretty much the only topic you'll see from top to bottom. Now, talking about intercourse isn't the issue here, but a quick glance at the video titles might make you raise an eyebrow. For those who were really active on the internet landscape back in 2012 to 2013, you might already have an inkling. This man you see is Hunter Moore. He's been called the most hated man on the internet, and for pretty good reasons too. Hunter, born in March 1986, grew up in Woodland, California, and perhaps the only highlight from his childhood was that he was kicked out of middle school for constantly getting into fights with his classmates. Shortly before founding his t-shirt company, a venture he abandoned after being expelled, Hunter launched an online community for the video game Diablo 2 and started a local party promotion business. The success of these endeavors led him to believe that attending classes was a waste of his time. However, Hunter's entry into what he called real shit came at 18. This included landing some pretty interesting gigs. He became an occasional hairstylist for a fetish website, scored a 6-figure payout from a harassment lawsuit against a mall store, used the money to gallivant across Europe and Japan, and then settled down in Australia for a year because, as he puts it, they know how to party hard there. He only returned home when he caught scabies. After that, he ventured into an intercourse party business, organizing events like gay parties and gangbangs, among others. However, he decided to sell the company when he started to feel uneasy about its legality. Ironically, what came next was even more shocking. In late 2010, Hunter stumbled upon an idea, perhaps his most controversial yet. While dating a girl, all his friends expressed a keen interest in seeing her completely undressed. while he didn't mind, the problem arose when he couldn't easily share the pictures she sent him. It dawned on him that he could simply post these images to a dormant domain he had bought for potential party promotions. As time passed, his friends added their own pictures to the site, and to his astonishment, about a week later, he discovered that the site had garnered 14,000 unique visits. This revelation sparked the idea that he could turn this into a profitable venture, which he did, sometimes earning as much as $30,000 a month.
Well, it all started with me hating some dumb who broke my heart, really. And that's how it started, dude. Trying to get back at somebody in revenge, basically, for f***ing with me, and I wanted to them 10 times harder, and me and my friends would just post a bunch of girls on Is Anyone Up, which is weird because Is Anyone Up was supposed to be a nightlife website. That's why the name. And we just got a bunch of traffic one day, and I was like, yo, I can make money off titties and people over. And it just kind of evolved into what it is, and really, like, people like you made Is Anyone Up what it was. I just made fun of people with green vaginas.
Hunter named his website isanyoneUp.com, and while it began as a general corn site, things swiftly took a dark turn. He started sharing explicit photos of celebrities, famous band members, and even disabled individuals, alongside numerous women and men who had not consented to their images being shared. The website's main gig, though, was something called revenge porn. Basically, if someone had a bone to pick with their ex, they'd send in explicit photos, and the website would gleefully post them, all in the name of revenge.
Anyone Up? It's where revengeful exes come for peace of mind.
What does that mean?
Your ex-girlfriend who you've done dirty, she can come to my site and we will take care of her.
But that was just the beginning. Hunter took it a step further by linking these photos to the victim's social media profiles like Facebook or Twitter, along with their personal contact details like addresses and even their workplaces. Submissions to the website followed a disturbingly consistent format. First, a person's social networking profile would be displayed, followed by clothed images, culminating in the revelation of their intimate photos. And some submissions went even further, showing individuals involved in explicit acts like self-pleasure. Each submission would end with a reaction image, often a still or animated GIF of a popular scene or internet meme, used as a sarcastic response to the content. But Hunter's malevolence didn't end here. He went on to create a category on the site called Daily Hate, showcasing enraged responses from individuals whose images were posted without consent. To compound the cruelty, Hunter would share emails from girls begging for their pictures to be removed, only to respond with vile comments under their photos, inciting others to further harass the victims. Hunter capitalized on the website's notoriety by featuring ads of explicit content and selling merchandise. In November 2011 alone, the site racked in $30,000 in revenue, with over 30 million page views. Hunter claimed to work 19 hours a day, 5 days a week, managing the site. He boasted a team of 6, including 2 age verification specialists, to ensure that all individuals shown were at least 18 years old. Despite his assertions in interviews and live streams that he took care to verify ages, his critics and victims often believed otherwise, suspecting that some photos on his site depicted underage girls. Whether true or not, his actions speak volumes about his character. In one interview, Hunter shockingly admitted to being completely comfortable with the public humiliation inflicted on individuals featured on his site. However, he later shifted blame to those who uploaded the content on his site, attempting to distance himself from the harm caused.
Humiliation.
Yeah, it is.
And you are fine with blasting it out and basically ruining, in some cases, other people.
I mean, to me, I don't know these people, and it's kind of anonymous to me. I think the people submitting it are the ones who should be, feeling bad when they do click that submit button.
Which is again ironic because, despite him making money off those pictures, the site also seemed to encourage people to upload such content. Also, this was a TV interview, so he obviously tries to maintain a somewhat good reputation because it is in a more professional setting. After someone uploaded a photo of someone else, the website would share a weird thank you note thanking them for being evil. But above all, what's pretty clear from all this was that he didn't feel guilty at all.
So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your contacts. And, for me, for the last girl I got pregnant, for example, she just happens to be under dumb pregnant in my phone. So I'm going to go ahead and type in dumb pregnant. Oh, there she goes. So look at now I'm at dumb pregnant on my phone.
I don't know how you can point your finger at me. You took the picture. I mean, I've been justifying this in my head for over a year and a half of, the site, what I do and the site that I run. But at the end of the day, it started with you and you took these pictures. I don't know how old you are, but I'm sure, you're smart and go to school. I mean, it's 2012. What do you expect to happen? Somebody's going to monetize this. I mean, and I was the person to do it.
In one of his many strange and explicit YouTube videos, for which the title pretty much says it all, he oddly goes on to humiliate people with disabilities.
Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Deaf girls suck the best. Now, I don't know if it's because they talk no offense, sorry, I'm not. I shouldn't even be laughing at just because I look camera. I think, it helps with the gag reflex or something. She get in her thing and she go and put. Anyways, those are my cripple stories. So basically, all cripples suck the best fucking.
Despite everything, the website Is Anyone Up was not just making Hunter infamous, but actually famous. His following consisted heavily of scene kids, advocates of free speech, and most notably, young women, who aspired to be featured on Hunter's side, and perhaps in his bed, likely not in that sequence. On Twitter, it wasn't uncommon for him to have scores of women clamoring for his attention every other day. Some of them were so disgusting that I couldn't bring myself to show them in this video. Then things took a serious turn. In November 2011, Hunter appeared on Anderson Cooper's talk show, where he faced two girls whose intimate pictures he had posted on his website. This took his site's popularity to a whole new level, and as the notoriety grew, so did the submission of more extreme content. CP, animal cruelty, and stuff that went way beyond typical revenge videos. Meanwhile, his critics were on the rise, hitting him with backlash and even death threats. But Hunter wasn't fazed. He kept the site running and stayed active on Twitter, spurred on by his fans, who egged him on to ignore the haters and even ask for more submissions. In 2012, the site was finally shut down after Hunter was deceived into selling it to an anti-bullying charity site named Bullyville. However, upon realizing he had been tricked, he lashed out at the site's owner, James McGibney, on Twitter, even calling him a predator. A year later, the founder of the charity won a $250,000 defamation case against Hunter on his allegations. It was later revealed that Hunter had been paying someone to hack into people's accounts and steal photos. As a result, Hunter's Twitter account was shut down. In 2015, he pleaded guilty to aggravated identity theft and aiding and abetting in unauthorized computer access. Surprisingly, he was sentenced to just 2.5 years in prison. However, the judge banned him from social media. Hunter was released in 2017. Although he remains banned from Facebook, he has since returned to Twitter using a new account. In 2022, Netflix released a 3-part documentary series about him and IsAnyoneUp.com titled The Most Hated Man on the Internet. The series features interviews with both victims and law enforcement officials. Initially, Hunter agreed to participate in the documentary. However, he later backed out, claiming that Netflix restricted him from fully sharing his side of the story. I find it unbelievable that he got away for so long with openly sharing and profiting off of revenge porn and other stuff, but keep in mind that the internet back then was way less regulated and controlled, so people got away with a lot more than today. Timothy Wilkes, a young aspiring YouTuber, became a stark representation of when boundaries are not just approached, but tragically overstepped. The story of Wilkes is not merely a cautionary tale, but a profound reflection on the culture of online fame and the lengths to which individuals are willing to go for virtual validation. Born and raised in an online era, where the line between virtual acclaim and reality becomes increasingly blurred, Timothy Wilkes had ambitions like any young creator, to make a mark on the world. However, his aspirations would end abruptly on a cold evening in February 2021 in the parking lot of the Urban Air Trampoline and Adventure Park in Nashville, Tennessee. Wilkes, along with a friend, had conceived a YouTube video that would feature him performing a prank robbery. Armed with butcher knives, they approached a group of people with the intention of staging a fake robbery for their YouTube channel, purportedly believing the shock value and the reaction of unsuspecting victims would translate into viral content. However, the situation rapidly deteriorated into tragedy when David Starnes Jr., a 23-year-old among those approached, unaware of the intended prank, drew his firearm in self-defense and shot Wilkes, resulting in his immediate death. The incident sparked a complex legal and moral debate, thrusting issues surrounding social media pranks into the spotlight. David Starnes Jr., claiming he was unaware it was a prank and felt his life was in danger, wasn't charged. The Metro National Police Department's investigation found that he acted in self-defense, highlighting the fraught intersection of the right to self-defense and the unforeseen consequences of seemingly harmless pranks. Wilkes' tragic death raises pressing questions about the responsibility of content creators, the platforms that host such content, and the audiences that consume it. The allure of rapid fame and the monetization of content have pushed many to disregard the potential real-world consequences of their online actions. Pranks that involve fake robberies or threats of violence blur ethical lines and pose significant risks, not just to the participants, but also to an unsuspecting public. Wilkes' grandmother spoke about him on the news after his passing and described him as being a soft-spoken and shy person.
I don't even see him as a man. I always seen him as my baby.
Soft-spoken and shy, just a few of the ways that Shirley Berry describes her grandson, Timothy Wilkes.
The incident forced a reckoning within the YouTube community and among content creators at large. It highlighted the necessity of establishing clearer guidelines and restrictions for what constitutes acceptable content. While YouTube has policies in place that prohibit dangerous stunts or pranks that make victims believe they are in serious danger, the enforcement of these policies is perennially under scrutiny. As we move forward, let Wilkes' story not just be remembered as a tale of a prank gone wrong, but as a poignant call to action for greater accountability, responsibility, and compassion in the online sphere. Only then can we hope to prevent such pranks and ensure that the quest for online fame doesn't come at the expense of human lives. While other YouTubers would just stage a prank like that and get away with their lives, Timothy was punished for trying to make it authentic, but it goes without saying that this definitely wasn't a good idea. Albert Drylund stood out as a shining star in the YouTube community. With a vibrant personality and an unwavering commitment to entertaining his audience, Drylund carved out a unique space for himself on the platform. His comedic sketches, vlogs, and music videos not only endeared him to thousands, but also highlighted his creative genius. Drylund's rise to internet fame wasn't without its challenges. As his popularity grew, so did the scrutiny. Despite this, he remained committed to his craft, constantly experimenting with new content formats and pushing the boundaries of online creativity. His dedication paid off, with several of his music videos going viral. Songs like Emoji, Waffles, and Ula showcased not only his musical talent, but also his keen sense for engaging visuals. Beyond his online persona, Drylund was deeply passionate about filmmaking and storytelling. He ventured into the realm of acting, securing roles in Danish films, and further establishing himself as a multifaceted artist. His talents weren't confined to the online sphere, and they extended into traditional media, marking him as a promising young talent in the Danish entertainment industry. However, it was Drylund's relentless pursuit of engaging content that led to the tragic turn of events in July 2021. While filming a video in the Italian Alps near Forcella Panna, he tragically fell 200 meters to his death. The news of his passing sent shockwaves through the online community, with fans and fellow creators mourning the loss of a young, vibrant soul who had brought so much joy and laughter to their lives. The incident served as a harrowing reminder of the dangers that content creators can face in their quest to capture the perfect shot or create compelling videos. In the wake of his death, discussions around the safety of online influencers and the pressures to engage in risky behaviors for content generation came to the forefront. In his brief career, Albert Drylund touched the lives of many, both online and offline. His legacy lives on through his videos, music, and films, a testament to his talent and passion for entertainment. The outpouring of grief and tributes from around the world in the aftermath of his death underscored the impact he had made on a global scale. And that concludes today's episode. If you missed the previous episode, you can watch it on the end screen here.